This is a Macaulay Tucker Show exclusive press junket. Today we're speaking with Daniel MacPherson, a star of the upcoming MMA action drama Beast alongside Russell Crowe. Set in the world of MMA, the film follows a former champion stepping back into the cage for one final fight. We sit down, we talk about this film and his life, and we hope you enjoy this conversation. Congratulations on this project. I understand the hours and the time that goes into TV shows and movies. It's a lot of work. And so I watched this last night. I don't watch a lot of films like this, so I was not sure what to expect, but I was blown away. The emotion that you showed. I'm really excited to see what projects you bring that to, you know? A lot of actors, it's challenging for them to get into that emotional realm, you know, without it coming off as fake, but that was real. What I was watching last night was very much real. And this is a very special project for you because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your third project with Russell Crowe. You've mentioned before in interviews that I believe even before working with him, you studied and actually you were inspired by him. And so the fact that you're able to work with him is just amazing. And since you've worked on so many projects, here you've got Beast. Was there something that you could only learn from him that you learned? And was there something from this specific project that you're like, this is why I studied this man's career?
Yeah, man. Hey, great to chat. Thank you. That's a great intro. Yeah, so you're right. It was Russell and I's third film together. We did Poker Face in 2021. We did Land of Bad in 2022. Russell also directed Poker Face, and then we worked very closely together in Land of Bad, and that was how Beast came about. Was Dave Frigerio, the writer of Land of Bad, said, "Hey, I've got this MMA film about a coach and his kind of prodigal son, and I think you guys it'd be great for that." So. Russell, I'd known personally for maybe 10 years before that. And we kind of kept in touch on Twitter, you know, most things. And we actually went to the same high school in Sydney. So Sydney Boys High, myself, Russell Crowe, and Dr. George Miller, for any film fans out there, all came from Sydney Boys High. One of the first lessons I really had working with Russell happened on Poker Face. And I was playing his lawyer. You know, I was a lesser supporting character, but I got to sit next to Russell as his lawyer for a lot of that film. And it was one day we were sitting around a poker table and there were two big push-in close-ups. There was one on Russell and there was one on me. And we shot all those while we were playing poker and they went, "Great, that's lunch. Everybody go to lunch." And I stuck around and I got to go in and I watched in the tent on the monitors. I got to watch my close-up on a monitor next to Russell Crowe, Oscar winners close up. And that was probably one of the greatest acting lessons I've ever had of stillness, internalization, intentional film acting, as opposed to whatever the heck I was doing. And so every time we've worked together, I think I've been challenged more and more in the roles that I've taken on and challenged more and more opposite him. And then that brings us to Beast, where he was like, "Man, this is all yours, you know, and I'll be there and I'm supporting you and whatnot." So we got to go, you know, first time around was director and I was very much supporting him. Second time around, you know, we're at the end of the shoot on Land of Bad and we're working a lot more closely together and collaboratively. And then third time on Beast, we were in the cage going toe to toe on that film. And he's taught me a lot about. He's got a great imagination, got an expansive imagination. Comes in with so many great thoughts and ideas. Incredible background and experience in cinema, so he can tell us things of some of the greatest directors in cinema history. And obviously, he and Ridley have a huge history and background that I think he takes into the way he works. But ultimately, you know, his cinematic stillness is what I learned from him, and his relationship with the camera and his relationship with the lens is extraordinary. So I've been fortunate enough to work a lot with him, and this one I feel like we really went toe to toe, and that's something I'm very very proud of.
And we learn a lot from the people that we work with. I mean, you just explained there the lessons that you learned working with Russell, and of course you learn with every single project. And that's
Mm.
what I enjoy about life is the people that we interact with, we speak with, much like now. We take away something, and you don't often associate education with the magical world of Hollywood, but there's a lot of lessons that you can take away from that. I know you've spoken before in the past in other conversations that you've had about how fatherhood shifted your understanding of your own father, and actually how it gave you a completely new perspective on what love and responsibility actually feels like. And here you've got Beast, which is really about, a father pushed to his limits. You see that throughout this film. So I'm curious now, kind of on the other side of that, with your own son, when he looks at you, what do you hope he understands about you? Not necessarily the actor, but the man behind it. What do you hope to pass on to him?
Beautiful question. Yeah, man. I only became a father at age 40, and I was 23 years into my acting career by the time my son came along. And that level of love and the way your heart and soul gets blown wide open when you become a parent, um, you know, was like it's like steroids for your acting, like it changes, it takes it to a whole nother level. So a role like Patton in Beast, isn't possible before Austin was born and a whole bunch of other stuff. But um, I love Austin. Part of this industry is very self-centered. It's very selfish. You have to take the opportunities when they present themselves, because we're in an industry where we don't know when they will come again. But it's forced me to be incredibly selective now, the opportunities I do take, because everything gets measured against time with my boy. So I would like him to think that although I was incredibly ambitious and incredibly hungry, it was always measured against time with him as the greatest thing in my life, and being there for my son and with my son. I also hope that it would encourage him to chase his dreams wholeheartedly, to fearlessly go out into the world and chase what he believes in, and give it 120% effort, and know, as my parents did with me, that if it all goes pear-shaped and it all goes wrong, you are so loved and you can always just turn around and come home. And and yeah, man, that's I hope something like this gives I hope I'm a living example to my son of chasing your dreams and working really, really hard to get the most out of life.
And with your life story, I think he does have a wonderful, wonderful father, and he certainly is going to learn a lot and is learning a lot. I have 14 seconds, 13 seconds left. This was on my mind. Lastly, just before I go, the punches in this film. What percent of this film was actual physical contact and which wasn't? I just really want to know, but I have to go in like 1 second. I really want to know.
Bren Foster plays Xavier. He's a multiple world champion martial artist. We wanted this to be the most intense, realistic, and authentic MMA ever captured on cinema. It's the only film I've ever done where I'm having my own bruises and breaks covered up to put on fake ones. So hopefully when people see it, particularly in the big screen in the cinemas, April 10 and beyond, the sound, the visceral nature, and the hard work that we put in and put our bodies on the line, will come through. So I hope people really, really enjoy that. But yeah, man, we beat the crap out of each other.